Well, against my better judgment, we're going to do a live video here. And we got a power company running around doing some work. So if the power goes out, all bets are off. So what I was going to do out here in the shop today is cut some foam. And it's for a Genesis 35, Steve Barry's airplane. I've already got a core cut and blanks for another core. I'm going to make a couple more blanks and cut the cores. And that way, I'm going to have different versions of this thing. It'll have, some of them will be a composite skin, balsa. So there'll be different variations. So not edited, it's just thrown together. And what I'm going to try to do here is put the comments on the TV screen, and that way, if you guys have a question, I can come over here and look at the screen and hopefully see, what you guys are saying. So. So I'm going to try to get this foam block down to a size that's manageable. This span here won't fit this way on the bench, so what I'm going to do is just knock some of the span off of it. These uprights, just make sure the way they're set up, they're sitting against the edge of the bench. And once I shoot a little bit of this video, I'll go around and explain a little bit more. And these cutoffs, they're good for like a stab or a half A wing or something small, or maybe make a cradle, to hold the airplane. So to determine, basically I cut this oversized, but I just use this template here. This is my template that's going to allow me to cut the core to size. A little bit trickier because it's got a taper, a double taper. On this Genesis, it's set up to where the trailing edge is swept forward. So we'll knock out a couple of these blocks. And if I get one of these blocks that are nicked up, I'll just go ahead and take away that part of it. I'll probably get a copyright infringement having that on the TV. I've got other videos that cover this foam cutting that have been edited. So right now all I need is a clean edge here. I got the switch on the bow. And all I'm doing is cutting away the waste. Nothing's critical yet. I'm just trying to get a straight edge. Hi, Steve. Back on the chain gang here, Steve. I haven't forgot about you. When you start doing composite stuff, like I've been doing, it sucks you in. It's all consuming. Once you start a mold, and you start the plug and the mold and laying it up, and then you do the other side of it, you're basically committed. If it's any size at all, you're committed for a week, you know, to get it all finished. And it's one of these things, if you're making molds and stuff, it's once you start it, you got to keep rolling with it, because that's where the each layer's got to bond to the next one. So it's a process you got to stack up on top of each other, you know. So I'm taking this template. It's out of what they call it, not mylar, but vellum. The first core I cut, I didn't use this template, and it got to be sort of tricky, you know, laying out the double taper, so I decided to make this. If you're making one, you don't have to worry about a lot of that. If you're making more than one, you're better off starting to make templates and jigs and fixtures or whatever you got to do. So I just make sure the uprights are snug against the block, and also bottomed out back against the bench. The reason being, if it's not, if you put force on it and you're pushing on it, there's a chance that, you know, these things could slide back. I can't guarantee anything on this live stream as far as how long that router is going to stay connected. If you go on Stun Hanger and you go back to the hangout, it's either a Monday or a Friday. Bob Hunt comes on there, and he likes to do little tutorials. He'll do like a 10 or 15 minute dissertation on something, and it's really informative. He cut a core, and when he cut it, you know, he cut it by hand. The bow is suspended like on a bungee cord. And in order for him to maintain control of running the wire over the templates, if you're watching, he actually takes the bow, which is hanging, okay? So it's sort of floating. And he's got some kind of bushing, like little dowels or something on this wire. So when he's actually pulling the wire over the template, his fingers are right there. So he's got a feel of where that wire's at all times. You can feel it on the template. And if you do it enough, like Bob's done it, it's like super accurate. Now the problem with this bow, I mean, this is all right for blocking it out because I'm going on these templates here, but sometimes if you're not careful and paying attention, you can lead one side or the other and you drop off one template before the other, and it will give you a little notch at the bottom, which it doesn't really matter because it's just the block. But so the closer you can get your fingers to the wire doing the cutting, the better off you are. That was always the thing with CNC cutters. You'd have a CNC cutter, and basically if that cutter is moving free floating through the program as it's going, if this block is... Oh, you're fine. What do you got? Just one?
3 of them.
Is that all of them?
Yeah, you want them here?
Yeah.
If I just take a picture real quick?
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good day.
You too.
Okay, so basically if you have this core and it's not only forward or backwards, but to the left or to the right of the cutter, your airfoil is going to vary. So it's pretty critical where that foam's sitting. This cutter behind me, let's see, don't forget that outboard wing panel is 25, yeah, it's an inch different. So what I do, Steve, I guess you got 2 choices. Here's the choice. You cut both wings the same, which would be 26, okay? And then basically once that wing is cut, which would be the outboard, and you take an inch off of it. Your other option is take an inch off of it and then put the template on it, and that way not only are you shortening the span on the wing area, you're also bringing the wing down to a smaller airfoil, if that makes any sense. So it's up to you. I mean, 6 of one, half a dozen of another. The engineers might come up with a formula and tell you one way is better than the other, but so basically what happens is if you take the core, it's 26 inches, and then you lop an inch off, your airfoil to tip becomes thicker. Now the airfoil is the same, inboard and outboard, it's shorter, but that section an inch in is ever so slightly thicker. So if that makes any sense. And I've done a lot of wings before. What I do is I just cut the wing, and sometimes after the fact I'll lop an inch off or 3/4 or whatever somebody wanted. So yeah, let me know. And heck, Steve, I can do it. At this stage of the game, I can do it any way you want. Now I do have the first cores I cut. They had the so both are the same, and the tip airfoils are the same. Okay, well I'll do them the way you had them lofted. Okay, I'll put them to where you got the exact same airfoil. The first cores I cut with the rounded leading edge, they were cut equal panel 26, and then I was going to lop the inch off. On these, I got a couple sets of blanks I'm going to do here. I'll lop them before the fact, so the airfoil is the same. So let's see. You know, if you're thinking about cutting foam, and I know Bob made an offer that if anybody wanted to be trained on how to cut foam cores, he'd help them. And if you're interested, I mean, the offer is probably still out there. You'd have to go to his place and go through the whole the process with him. And I talked to other modelers before, and a lot of people don't realize this. They think, well, you buy a core from Bob or Tom or whoever sells them, and you're thinking, okay, they have a machine, they press a button and it pops out. And that's true to some extent maybe, but the bottom line is with this hobby, and it really doesn't matter if it comes out of overseas or these other countries building these airplanes, it all boils down to you're buying somebody's craftsmanship. You're not just buying a part that was ejected out of a machine, like a plastic molding. Well, you're buying somebody's craftsmanship to make the mold. But stuff like this, it's one of these deals where if you're a painter, like a Bob Ross or a famous painter, you're buying artwork. And I think some of this stuff, whether it pertains to control horns, Brent Williams, or these different people that are making things, you're buying their craftsmanship. So instead of going off the template, let's just say it's a 30-second different or a few thousandths here and there, one way of doing it. And since you've already got this core and this is what you want, we're just going to go through here and we're going to make little tick marks here, and we're gonna slice this other blank to match. Make a mental note when you mark this core. Basically, you want that line to disappear, you know, because that's equal to the one you just cut. Hopefully I don't miss comments. I'm not watching too close. So this template is set up to where to cut the rounded leading edge. One of the things I'm going to do on one of these cores, and it's going to save me a little work, is I'm going to do the old traditional way of cutting the core, backing the leading edge up and squaring it off a 1/4 inch behind where it needs to be. Gluing the 1/4 inch strip to the leading edge, and instead of wrapping the whole thing with a sheet of balsa, I'm going to actually do it traditionally, where the sheeting goes over the leading edge cap that's glued, but underneath the sheeting will be fiberglass cloth, balsa wood sanded perfect, and then a skin that's pre-cured over the top. So I'm going to do different variations to see the weight. Now I understand it's super critical on the leading edge that it's symmetrical, and Bob Hunt's talked about that. But my thinking is, it doesn't matter if you cut the leading edge square and shape it, or you actually cut the leading edge into the foam, as long as it's right. If you have a way of assuring that everything is perfect, well then go with it. You know, it goes back to this artistic thing. You know, we're not dealing with a CNC machine that we're working on thousandths of an inch here. So if you have a method, as long as the radius on your leading edge is perfect, you're all right. But I've done both ways, so I'll tell you what, it's a lot easier when you actually glue the 1/4 inch leading edge on and you go over the top of it. Almost done here. I got another sheet I was going to block out, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to double it up on the video. I'm not going to do the same thing twice. So I'll block this out, and then I'll go ahead and knock the core down an inch before I actually cut them, like Steve was talking about. Once I get this cut out, I'll stick it on top of the other one and see how close they match. Cutting foam's a lot of fun once you get set up. Once you get it dialed in. When I built this bench, I built it to accommodate different things. I'll get the camera and I'll show it to you, but the mechanicals are on this side of the bench with the variacs and stuff, and the foam cutting stuff. The other thing at this point, once you get this thing nailed down, you got to go through here and make sure that you got the leading and trailing edge in the right orientation. And this is like making a fuselage sides. You know, you flip it this way, you know, you see everything's off. You got to make sure it's got the right orientation, and then when you open it up, or when you take the wing and you lay it out, it's all where it needs to be. Now, these things are accurate within maybe 5/10 thousandths or something. You can just, in a couple spots. I mean, it's like right here, just barely. And what I like to do is take the wing, before you actually put the center line on it, I'll run a sanding bar around it. And then if you get like little hickeys or something like right here sticking up, I put them together like this. And then I sand the fuzz off. And I make sure that they're both squared up. Now, if you're going to sand a lot, you got to get a long straight edge. All I'm doing here is just getting that little lip off there. And then I do this to get the fuzz off. I got 2 grits here. You don't have to clean the fuzz off, but when you finally put the center line on it, at least you got it on the foam and not the fuzz. Another thing I need to do with one of these cores is going to be more like a traditional foam wing. And it's going to have the wing mounted gear. But when I cut the clips in the foam, after the spar's in there, when I cut the clips, I'm going to stick a piece, well, I take the piece of wood, put in there and trace around it. And then I'm going to make a pattern off of exactly where those clips are, so that way when I make those clips and insert them into the foam block that I'm going to vacuum bag, I've got them at the perfect size I need them to be. So I'm going to use one of these cores to get the pattern for the clips, because on one of the cores it's got to be a solid block with the spar and the clip already inserted. The clips that go this way have to be hollowed out. They have to be the outside, which will be like carbon fiber. So that way, once the wing sheeting is vacuumed down, then I'll core all 3 triple core. And then I'll be coring right through the hollow clip that's already in there. But I'm going to utilize one of these foam blocks, the traditional method, to get that clip size. And I might experiment. It might be one of these things where I take balsa wood and I vacuum bag carbon fiber sheet on it, and hopefully that will create a super strong clip or spar. The other thing I'll experiment with is maybe making a mold where the carbon fiber toe goes all the way around the circle and actually mold the clip that goes in there for your gear. So as you can imagine, this whole thing is like a test bed. See out there, the grass is already growing. I've already cut it a couple times. now I think I've got 2 blocks that match. Now I got to figure out where the leading edge is. I'll lay this back on there and get my orientation correct. And this is what I'm talking about. I'll show you here in a second. If you flip it this way, it wouldn't match. So you got to make sure you orient this thing correctly. So the way these blocks are, this is your leading and trailing edge. So at this point, you got to come up here and put LE. I could put top, but it doesn't matter. When I put LE on it, that is the top. Okay, so that's the leading edge here. And now, what I have to do is, this is still the leading edge, so I have to flip it this way. Okay? And I'm going to flip my template this way. Not that I have to do it, but I'm going to show you to double check. So, okay, let's flip this way. So this is a LE leading edge. Now, Steve wanted 26 and 25. 26 here, 25 here. So what I need to do is take an inch off of here. So I'm going to put the leading edge OB outboard. Now I'm wondering, get my tape. I can't remember. I got the plans over there. Can't remember what the dimensions. He said 25 and 26, but just because he says that doesn't mean it could be a mistake. So let's see if this is right. 18. You know, I got a tape measure sitting around here somewhere. It's a roll-up tape. It'll take me forever to find it. Here's 18. This isn't a super accurate measurement, but 20. Okay. So he was right. So what I got to do is knock an inch off of there. Let's see here. See if I got anything that's an inch. So it just so happens, here's some channel aluminum I was using for sanding bars. And I'm looking at that, and lo and behold, that's an inch. Isn't that great? Happened to be laying right there. Here comes my neighbor. Did you bring me lunch?
Now I'm bringing your wife's fine china back.
Oh, the Tupperware? You want a refill?
No.
You want to be on TV? We're live.
Oh, sorry.
No. I already warned them. I said anything could happen. The power could go out.
Oh.
They'll be moving telephone poles. See right there. Where you going? You didn't put anything back in here?
No, I washed them.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not feeling too great.
You're doing too much, that's why.
I ain't done nothing.
Well, that's too much. When's the family coming home?
Saturday night. They're leaving stopping in Macon, getting up Saturday morning, and finish a 10-hour trip.
Okay.
Somewhere around 8 or 9 o'clock.
Well, they'll be tired when they get home, won't they?
Yeah.
You want me to show you how to start it so you can cut my grass?
No, sir. I'd run over something.
uh,
But you can cut my front yard if you're gonna run it.
I can come over and do that.
Just the front. There's an extension cord though. You gotta be. Runs down my little sidewalk.
Yeah.
No, I feel like. I don't know.
Did you sleep all right?
I sleep fine, but I get up and my chest is tingling this morning. My arms are numb.
That's what happens when you sleep wrong.
Huh?
You slept on it wrong.
No, I got that strange feeling all day today.
Oh.
And I didn't have it yesterday. And I had it when I first walked in. And then I got doing my therapy and I figured it would get worse, but it didn't. But right now my fingers feel like they're numb and cold.
Well, yeah. All that muscle's trying to,
I don't know what it is.
it's nerve damage. Everything's trying to grow back together.
Heavy load right here.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm just getting depressed too. I don't think I'm ever gonna feel right.
You will.
That's a nice bike.
Emily was going to throw it away.
No way.
Yeah, she said she was going to put it to the curb. She bought a new bike.
You're kidding. That's a classic.
Well, yeah, I took some polishing compound on it and cleaned
I
it
got
up.
one like it beside my barn, but it's old.
Well, it looks brand new, doesn't it?
Mine needs some new tires. It was Donna's bike, but it still rides good. Yeah, that looks like brand new, man. That's probably put that on Facebook and get $100 easy.
Well, I only make $30 because the seat and the post cost me $70.
You didn't have a seat?
And my daughter took it off to put it on her new bike. So that she's getting rid of a bike without a seat.
You should have told me I had one just like that.
Yeah, too late now, but that's all right.
It's a green bike sitting back there by leaning on a tree. It's got a seat just like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I didn't know either. It's supposed to be 80 degrees. It ain't gonna make it.
Maybe. Stand up next to the house in the sun.
They said it's supposed to come out and be 81 or 2, but then thunderstorms again tonight at 7 o'clock. I'm headed to Walmart to pick up a couple things. I want to do that left wheel on my truck, but just can't get the gumption.
So what you do, you take your truck to therapy and you tell the therapist, say, hey, we need one volunteer. Somebody, we're going to do some real life therapy, and take them out in the parking lot. They're going to say, what do we got to do? He said, well, here's what we're going to do. Here's the tools. We got to get this bearing off this wheel. And you incorporate that job into therapy.
Okay.
What do you think? Think that'll work?
I'm 73, but I feel like I'm 28 in that room with all those old guys.
Yeah.
Those guys are in their 80s. One lady, they had to call the EMTs.
Oh yeah? She was having a spell, huh?
She was having a spell. They called cold blue physical therapy. Here comes this little cart with 2 EMTs. wheelchair and rolled her out the back door.
Yep.
I don't know what was going on.
So I gotta explain something here.
Go ahead. I don't mean to stop you on your phone.
Yeah, so I'm gonna tell these people real quick.
I'm gonna go to Walmart.
You don't wanna hear me tell how to do this?
Carry on.
Okay, now listen up.
I don't wanna. Your shirt looks like you work at White Castle.
Yeah. It's the same color. So basically the wing is sitting the way it is in the plane. This is the bottom, this is the top. So this center line, it's not perfect center, which it'll be off a few thousandths or whatever. It's not going to matter because when you put this wing together, it's all going to be referenced off the bottom. So when you center line each block, you got to make sure that both wing halves are up. So yeah, this is very technical stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you still on the camera?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Some guy come by my house with a black truck and a trailer.
Yeah, grass cutter.
He had some straw on the truck.
Yeah.
Did you see him?
Yeah, he parked out there. He was
He stopped and took a picture of my pile of dirt.
Did he really?
If he would have held up a minute, I might have come out and talked to him. He got that digger thing, or that bulldozer.
You know what?
He could have moved that dirt for $100.
Well,
He'd be done in 10 minutes.
did you get the name or the
Morgan something.
Morgan? You'll probably have a notice in your mailbox that for some work. Because I can tell you right now, you surely don't want to mess with that by hand. It's too much dirt.
He'd take three scoops of that thing he had on his truck, take
Yep.
it back there and pour it in that low spot in my backyard.
Yeah, well,
And
he had
just about done.
the perfect, what do you call that thing?
Perfect machine.
Yeah, what do you call it? Skid steer. It's a skid
Yeah,
steer.
Skid steer,
Yeah.
right.
Now, if these wings don't sit flat, you got to make sure that they're flat. You gotta sand them flat.
I would have come out and said something to him, but he sat there for a while.
Yeah,
He
he's
seen me pull his camera up and take a picture.
probably going to come steal your dirt in the middle of the night.
I'll get it moved one way or another.
Yeah, so you don't want this rocking. Well, the best thing to do, figure out where you want it. Call the guy back or somebody like that. Give him some money.
Sometimes those guys are outrageous. I don't pull that off for less than $200.
Well, if he takes all the dirt and he moves it exactly where you want it, and then he flattens it out, screeds it out with the blade, and it's ready for seed, it would be worth $200. I can tell you right now. Remember that dirt I brought into your yard? It's like $60 for a yard, topsoil.
Oh, I know. That's why I grabbed that dirt.
So you're already $400 or $500 ahead. Tight wad.
I'm running out of dollars. Man, every time uh-oh.
No cussing on the phone. This is a family show.
It's my brother.
Oh.
Yep. No. I don't know, I'm just having funny pains today. My hands are numb. My brain's numb. Yep. Tired of being home alone. They won't be back till Saturday. That'll cheer me up. No.
So the next thing I'll do, and I'll do it on a separate video,
Got a baby.
I'm going to put these templates on this core, and I'm going to
Yeah.
dial this cutter in, so it'll cut this taper in these cores.
Just getting all kinds of
Yeah.
ideas.
Probably been on like an hour, so we're going to come back and
Yep.
I'll put this in the cutter and we'll cut it.
I just got two to worry about.
I'll get rid of my neighbor.
Yeah? No, I just got up. I went to therapy yesterday. Did okay.